The brand new Pro Camera app by Apple. Finally, the professional video app, film a professional videos native app from Apple. Apple announced this over the weekend, I believe. It was kind of low-key. Many people didn't see it coming, and they named it Final Cut Camera. Essentially, what it does is that it helps you get the most out of your iPhone to record the best looking professional videos. So this is how the icon looks like. It is available for completely free. I think that's the best part about it. Completely free for anyone to download and take a look at this and use it in your professional work. Right here, as you guys can see, just look up Final Cut Camera. I will also leave the link in the description. This is going to be a first look at the application with you guys. Right here, as you guys can see, as soon as you open it up, this is how you're going to be greeted. This is pretty similar to the native camera app. This camera app right here, pretty much similar because it is, again, fully designed by Apple and it looks very minimalistic. It might not have so many different fancy buttons yet, but don't forget, this is only the version 1. I just can't wait to see what's going to be included in the version 2, version 3, all these different updates that is going to come with this specific application. So I'm going to walk you guys through from the bottom, because bottom is where most of the interesting stuff is at. So essentially right here, as you guys can see, you can see that 13mm, 24mm, and 72mm on the iPhone Pro cameras, the Pro versions. You have 3 different lenses. This is the ultra wide, and then this is the regular 1x, and then this is the telephoto lens, the 77mm. And what is cool is that right here there's a magnifying icon. If you just click on it and then just zoom in, it just slowly zooms in. If you just hold on it, look at it, how slowly it zooms in. And this is amazing for taking a cinematic. You can easily just slowly zoom in and out and record beautiful looking videos without that, quick zoom in the native app right here. This is the first feature. And if you want to shoot the ultra wide, you have to first select ultra wide, and then you'll be able to click on the magnifier. And then right here, you can zoom in still all the way until the end, and then you can go all the way back as well, which is kind of cool. And then if you just go ahead and go to the right side right here, we have the arrow icon. And if you just go ahead and click on it, it's going to bring up multiple different icons. We're going to start from the left side. We have the white balance adjustment. You can set up a manual white balance to perfectly fit the scene. Right here, as you guys can see, you can just manually adjust your white balance. Again, this is a very professional looking option that mostly professional cameras have and professional applications have. And then if you just click on this fixed icon, this fixed button right here, you can also have the presets like daylight, shadow, cloudy, based on this specific scenarios. You can just quickly select it without you manually trying to set the white balance. Or if you just want to just leave it to automatic, for those of you who are just beginners, you can just leave it to automatic and it will automatically adjust the white balance. But besides that, guys, next one is the exposure. You have the manual exposure access at your fingertips. You can manually adjust your exposure to perfectly take a good looking video, no matter what the brightness or no matter what the sunlight is doing or the lightings. You can just adjust it to perfectly to your scenario. And then if you go to the AF, we have the manual focus now. Instead of just doing autofocus, you can just do manual focus. You can also lock a focus right here, as you guys can see. Let me just put my finger like this. You guys can see that I can just manually control my focus and then get that beautiful bokeh. And this is obviously a really good technique for filming, cinematic shots. But besides that, besides this manual focus, if you just click on over here, you have the option to rotate all of these different menus. So that way, if you're shooting this way, it's a lot easier. You can just do left right here, or you can just do right side. That way the menus are going to be on the right side, just like so. And if you just want to leave it on the portrait like this, you can also leave it like this as well. But if you just go ahead and click on this arrow again, it's going to get rid of that menus. And then this, obviously, to flip the camera to the front facing camera. And then these buttons will be already by default will be visible when you just flip your camera, which is kind of nice. Besides that, moving up top right here, as you guys can see that we have our audio display. That display, you can say that you can see the audio levels of your camera, of your microphone. And then over here, this small little indicator showing that how much space we have. With this current settings, I can shoot 32 minutes of non-stop video. But if I go ahead and click on here, I am going to have access to change all of these settings to shoot video. I have the Apple ProRes. If I change to Apple ProRes, right here I have 0 because I have very low storage, and ProRes requires insane amount of storage. I'm going to go ahead, change it back. And then you have the HDR or SDR, depending on what kind of video you're trying to shoot. And then you have the resolutions, either the 4K, 720 or 1080p. I'm going to leave it to 1080p. And then you have the frames per second starting from 24 all the way up to these 120 and 240 frames per second available here. And then if I just go ahead and close this out and click on this right here, you have something called multicam. You can just link up your application, this Final Cut camera application, to the iPad. If you have the Final Cut Pro application on your iPad, you can just directly connect everything and make sure you enable Bluetooth for this application, so that way all of your iPad devices will pop up right here and you can just easily connect and, you know, right away film up to with 4 different angles, 4 different cameras at the same time, which is kind of cool. This is what this camera is really beneficial for those of you who, you know, record multicam, like for podcasts or many different things like this, where you can just easily sync them and edit them using Final Cut Pro. But besides that, guys, right here, if I click on the settings, this is where all the gems are easily accessible. On the preferences, you have the codec, you have the right here codec, you have the format, color and dynamic range, you have the stabilization. And when you do enable stabilization, it slightly zooms in, that crops in the frame, that way it can stabilize it because this is a digital stabilization. And then if you just mirror the front camera, it's not gonna just flip after you're taking the video, which is really nice, especially for the selfie videos. And then you have some help, Final Cut camera help, and then you have service and support and feedback. But if you go to the tools, this is where all the my favorite personal favorite feature is. We have overexposure indicator and the focus speaking. This is a must-have for a professional video filming app. You just enable this overexposure indicator. It's gonna show you basically where in your frame certain things are overexposed right here. This is a really useful feature in order to manually adjust your exposure, so that way you don't have any overexposed areas. And another thing is focus speaking. If you go back to your settings all the way up top and then enable focus speaking, you guys can see that we have these green little dots indicating that we have certain areas where focus is speaking, and this is also really useful. You can manually adjust using the manual focus, which is really nice. So those are my 2 favorite features hidden inside the settings icon right here. You can also play around with this. You can also enable grid overlay for those of you who like to shoot with the grid in order to get the best composition. And then you have the option to make it square or 4:3. Those are the default settings. And if you go to the audio, you can play around with different microphones. If you have Bluetooth microphones that is connected or many different microphones, you can also select from here for the source to your microphone. But overall, this is how the app looks like. All of your videos will be saved over here in the lower left bottom section. All of it here, if you just go to your all media, you can just go through all of your media, all the footage that you've shot, and based on which ones you like, you can also save this directly to your photo library, right here, because by default it won't be saved right away. So you have to manually just click on share and then save it to your video. Or even better, you can right away import this. You can just transfer this to your Final Cut Pro. If you're editing on Mac or MacBook Pro, even iPad, you can just manually just right away at your fingertips, you can just transfer all of the media that you shot, which is really convenient. But nonetheless, guys, overall really great app. I'm happy to see that Apple finally released a professional video filming application, and I'm just looking forward to what the next version is gonna be and what kind of features that Apple will add on in the future. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Smash the like button and also subscribe down below, because I'm gonna be uploading a lot more interesting tech content just like this one. And also the iOS 18 beta 2 is out. I'm filming a video on that, which is coming out soon. If you don't want to miss that, definitely subscribe down below. And in the meantime, check out this video right here on how to install the iOS 18 beta on your device. Thanks again for watching. Catch you guys next video. Peace.